So this is Yakuza Kiwami. Okay, I'm confused. Is it Yakuza or Yakuza?
It's Yakuza.
Yakuza.
Like if you're saying it and you want to be Japanese, the appropriate term is Yakuza.
Yakuza.
Yeah, and there's emphasis on the ah.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's like pizza. Yakuza.
Is there an emphasis on pizza? I guess there is an emphasis on pizza. Huh?
I don't know, I think some
small one,
80s people thought, get some za.
That is dumb.
Welcome to Hard Mode Gamers. I'm Kurt.
And this is your boy Super Vega in the building.
So you got a chance to play this game, and it is so. When did the first game come out?
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna date myself a little bit, but I believe the first Yakuza originally came out in 2006 or 7. I know I was in high school when I played it for the first time, but it was on PS2. It was a late PS2 game.
Yeah.
Not so late that the PS3 was already out, but late enough that like PS3 was kind of like on the horizon.
PS2 was looking its best.
Yes, PS2's library was stacked.
Well, I mean, the PS2's
Stacked.
library was always stacked.
But I mean, like,
no
late
doubt.
in life, it was stacked. Like, it was...
Let's talk about Yakuza.
But let's talk about Yakuza Kiwami. And Kiwami, if I'm not wrong at what I'm about to say, Kiwami actually means super. Or, like, it's some sort of, like, phrase on super.
Yeah, I saw
so
that.
I could be Vega Kiwami. You know
I tried
what I'm
to translate it, and I didn't get the best translation. It was like super or extreme or...
Yeah, so ultimately they're just saying, like, this is the super version of Yakuza, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, when Street Fighter does, like, Super, Alpha, Double, Quadruple, Megatron, Ultra, Transformer, Spider-Man Edition, it's the same.
So they cut corners by just saying Kiwami, and that's
Yes,
it.
they just said Kiwami, and it actually, like, I think it sounds pretty good.
How does it hold up now? Now that it's an old game and this is a remake, how does it hold up?
All right, so the story on Yakuza is a phenomenal story to experience. I would say to experience maybe 2 or 3 times max, right? So going into it, having played it once or twice on PS2, it's not as fun because I know what's coming.
Oh.
So like that suspense part is kind of taken away if you know what's coming. And also a lot of it's from back in the day where things were very linear and scripted. So as far as it's a very open world game, but mission-wise, like there aren't many ways to approach things. It's a very old-school open-world game where, like, open world means you can explore the world around you. It doesn't mean you have options on how you want to execute the world around you.
So you can explore the worlds, but in the missions, you're set on a path.
It's still open world on the mission, which is one of my has always been one of my qualms because it's still open world and there's not a lot of like waypoint guiding systems like there are in like Assassin's Creed or some of our modern day open world games. So you end up spending a lot of time where like you are on a mission and you don't know what you're supposed to do. You're just like, what the fuck?
And that's carried over pretty well into this game.
It's still they've changed nothing about it. All they really did was like revamp it as far as like gameplay mechanics and making it a little bit closer to current gen without taking away too much of the stuff that made it dope and legacy and like that people who played it in the past will really appreciate. Kind of like we hope they'll do with Final Fantasy VII. Probably not. But what they do in Yakuza is that they put up invisible walls. So when you start a mission, it kind of like it narrows the scope of the open world. So
Guides you a little bit.
It doesn't guide you though.
No,
It just closes the frame. So you figure regular open world is all of the Tokyo city they created. You're on a mission. It's like this mission. We're not going to tell you what you got to do or how you got to do it, but it is contained within these 6 blocks. So you have this 6-block open world now that you can traverse. So you have like a still mini open world with no guidance as to what you're supposed to do. So like a very early on mission, and this is not a spoiler in any way because the game is super old first of all. But even if you're playing it for the first time, it's a very early on mission and it has very little to do with like the overarching story. It's kind of like a tutorial mission. But you go to buy like this ring for this girl you're interested in, and on your way out the jewelry store you get pickpocketed, and then you have to chase down to do that pickpocket. So now in this time, the world is constrained to like 5 blocks, right, where this pickpocket might be. And then what I do love about Yakuza and the whole series is that the world around you is very, very alive. So you get pickpocketed, and you can like the next like 20 people that you walk past all either witnessed it happen and like are giving you information to send like to try to help you get to the right place, or they're just commenting on the fact that it happened. They're like, "Yo, what was that?" And then even like if you go like 3 or 4 blocks away from where it happened, the people there are like, "Yo, I saw this weird guy just like run past here, real suspicious." Or like, "Oh, no, nothing weird has happened over here, so you should not be looking in this area because we're just playing casino stuff."
And these are good advice you're getting from the NPCs?
The NPCs are very, like, the NPCs offer you the most guidance in the game.
So they're super lively.
They're very lively. Like, they are interactive.
Do you actually drive, or is it all, it's all on foot, right?
It's primarily on foot, yeah.
Okay.
There's, like, a taxi service you use after you expand the game a little bit further. But it's all really on foot.
That's actually, I like that it condenses that atmosphere, because you get all these open games, these open world sandbox games, you get these open world sandbox games where basically the only depth you're being given is that you commute from one place to another, and then you go do your mission in this one spot.
Yeah.
And then you go somewhere else. Now, Watch Dogs 2 had the ability to make all the NPCs look very alive. Like, they just put so many people doing different stuff that it was really good set dressing. People said things that were in proper context. If you did something weird, a lot of people would notice it.
React, yeah.
But this one seems like it's on a whole much better level, actually.
Yeah, and it's funny because like this is all stuff that was existent in the PS2 version. Like, these aren't additional. This isn't part of the HD. This is part of the core game.
Oh,
like,
man.
This is stuff that happened even on PS2.
Would they add then?
All they really did, to be honest, is they upgraded the visuals, right? So, like, visually, it looks like a PS4 game. It looks like it belongs to this generation. If you were to walk into a Best Buy, GameStop, and pick up this game and then, like, go home and pop it in for the very first time, you would feel like this game legitimately came out this generation, which is great. They updated the gameplay mechanics a little bit, so like they just kind of fixed some frame rate issues as far as during the fighting sequences. They almost eviscerated load times. Like the loading times are so minuscule that it's like almost irrelevant, which is amazing. But really, they like as far as HDing the game, if that's a proper verb.
Sure.
It's nothing like too crazy. You know,
All
it's
right.
nothing. It's legitimately like the game that we got on PS2, looking like it belongs on PS4. There might be some stuff under the hood that they did that makes it like maybe it runs better and stuff like that. But you know, I'm not really like too savvy on that stuff. So overall, though, fantastic game as far as I'm concerned.
I heard they added a few mini games.
And they added mini games from like the current generation stuff. So in the PS3 era of the Yakuza series, they added. They expanded on the hostess bars, where now, like, not only do you go to hostess bars and the minigame is going there, you can also manage a hostess bar now. So you dress the hostesses, you send them out, you give them advice on how to be better hostesses, and you make money from that.
Sounds pretty involved.
It is very, very involved. Very involved game.
long too, right? Like
I would say if you were to play just the core story, which you can't because you have to play mini games in order to get through the core story. You're probably looking at a good. I want to say, are we counting like the cutscene time or not?
We can count cutscene time. I mean, Metal Gear 4 would be a 5-hour game if you cut the cutscenes.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. It's a very true. Yakuza, I would say confidently, I'm gonna give it like a good 15 to 18 hours.
All right.
If you went directly for just beating the game.
Okay.
You know, I mean, just
but if you played main and extras, how much do you think of it?
If you can eat, this is a 100-hour game.
Okay, if you want to do everything.
If you max out your stats, if you play every minigame, if you get every bonus, if you interact with all the side missions, if you fight all the different types of gangsters, there is so much depth to this game. It's mind blowing. Honestly, I think this game is a lot better than Grand Theft Auto. However,
come at us, Rockstar.
However, Grand Theft Auto caters to a very American culture, so it works better as far as a viable product. But I think gameplay, mechanics, everything about Yakuza is better than Grand Theft Auto, except that they only speak Japanese.
Yeah. Would the experience be enhanced because it was made recently if you played Yakuza 0 first? Because I've had some reviewers say it would, and others say that it wouldn't, because Yakuza 0 came out came out way later.
Yeah, so
and
Yakuza
then it got
0...
the HD thing, and then so we went back to 0. Now we're on 1. The newest of the game's gonna go to 6, right?
Yes. So Yakuza 0 is the most recent game to come out in the series, so it does have like all the benefits of being new. I think if you've never played any game in the Yakuza series, I still feel like 1 is the best place to start.
All right.
So Kiwami is the best place to start, in my opinion.
Okay. And what player do you think this game would be best for? Like, who are you gonna recommend this game to?
If you like open world games, if you like Grand Theft Auto, if you like Sleeping Dogs, if you like...
Oof, I like Sleeping Dogs.
If you like True Crime, remember True Crime? That's a throwback.
I remember True Crime a little bit.
If you like the serious Saints Row, which is probably like only Saints Row 1.
And 2. 2 is
kind of
like a dumb action movie, kind of.
So if you like those type of games, and you like Japanese culture, this game is perfect for you. If you don't like Japanese culture, but you love those games, you should still try this, because you might find that you do like Japanese culture. If you don't like any of those things, this game is not for you in any way, shape, or form. If you like Shenmue, Yakuza is Shenmue.
All right.
Yakuza is the better version of Shenmue. So like,
I actually never played them, but I hear wonderful things.
So Shenmue was a great game for its time. It was a fantastic game, but it was definitely the test. You know what I mean? Because half of the team that worked on the original Shenmue is still part of the Yakuza team.
All right.
So essentially what Sega did, and this is like opinion based, what Sega did was they said, wow, Shenmue was expensive as shit. Can we make a cheaper version of this? And they did. And the cheaper version works better.
Well, sometimes that's the case. I mean, I don't know. I'm getting more and more reasons to get a PS4 now.
Yeah, but Yakuza is definitely, it's the type of game that you can sink hours into it without realizing you're sinking hours. The downside to it is it's very Battlefield-like in the sense, and this might not make any sense to anyone, so I'm going to explain this reference. When I sit down and play Battlefield, I have to mentally prepare to play Battlefield. Like, I have to sit down and say, okay, for like the next 3 hours, I'm going to play Battlefield, because Battlefield is a very tactical shooter. It's not a like jump in, jump out shooter. Like, when you jump into Battlefield, you jump in with the mindset like, I'm going to war, I want to win this war. When I play Call of Duty, I want to shoot shit, and that's it. I just want to shoot shit and then get up and leave. So Yakuza is a very similar concept. Like, when you are about to play Yakuza, you are fully aware that in the next 3 hours that you play this game, you're probably only going to do 2 missions. If that.
All right? I know, it still sounds pretty cool to me.
Every Yakuza chapter... There's 9 chapters in the first one, and every chapter is about 2.5 hours, without cutscenes.
You gotta set the time aside.
You can't, and then because it's not English dub, like it's all Japanese dub and it's all English subtitle. You also have to be in a position where you can pay attention,
where you can read.
Yeah, where you can like really pay attention to what's happening, because there are a lot of things that it's weird, because not speaking Japanese, you lose out on a lot of the cool stuff in this game, because they're like, the facial animation is so fantastic when you're playing Yakuza, but you can't focus on the facial animation because you got to read.
Yeah,
and it's tough.
That's unfortunate.
They give you a lot of control over the text dialogue and the navigation of conversation.
I didn't even know that.
In the sense that like if you're in a conversation, you can stop the conversation like mid sentence on the subtitle. So like you can literally pause a subtitle in the middle of the subtitle before the whole like scene takes place, so that you can go do whatever you have to do and come back, like go make a sandwich or something. I don't know.
That's good. That's a good feature. More games should do that. A few games I've played have recently let you pause scripted events or cutscenes. Again, pretty good with that.
You know what my favorite feature is in Yakuza?
What?
That I feel like every game needs to have. There's a follow button.
Oh, I saw a little bit about this.
Yeah, so I touched on it very quickly
in your review.
But I think in this I can touch it a little bit more, right?
So, go ahead.
You play a game, right? And then all of a sudden, for whatever dumbass reason, you got this mission where you got to follow somebody, right? And that entire, it's always, for whatever reason, I don't understand why developers think we want to do this. But that follow sequence is usually like 10 to 15 minutes of you literally just following a character, right? And like, there's a ton of stuff around you. None of it is explorable. Like, there's not really any benefit to not following this character to wherever the hell he's taking me. But I have the option to like run around and go off path or do whatever. And the character I'm following always walks slower than your standard speed when you move the analog stick all the way up. So now like you're playing this game of like slowly moving the analog so you can kind of walk at the same pace and keep up with him, but he's walking really slow, so it's kind of boring and annoying. Yakuza implements the R2 button that you're following. So hold R2 and he just follows. You don't have to do anything else. He just follows the character.
I thought you said triangle in the review.
I might have mistyped that.
Gonna have to check later.
We'll
the review's already up, so if you're
already
listening to this now, it's too late.
Not for an edit. But if you hold R2, it's almost as if he puts his hand on the shoulder. But he keeps like, it's not an awkward like...
Assassin's Creed, step up your game. They have a button.
There's a button for it. Assassin's Creed is a perfect example. Like Assassin's Creed asked me to follow this guy for way too long so I can assassinate him or find out where he's going.
Some games have done it better than others for Assassin's Creed.
Yakuza did it great though. You literally just hold the button. I feel like everything about that feature is perfect. The distance between the two characters looks realistic. Like I'm not following him like on his ass. I'm following his little feet, you know.
One question though, like how long do you gotta hold down this button for?
You do have to, you can't, if you let go, he stops following.
Okay, how long is this sequence though?
The longest sequence I've experienced so far is, I would say probably about 5 minutes.
All right, so solid recommend.
Absolutely. I would say, if you're a hardcore gamer, you do not want to miss Yakuza or any game in the series. You at least want to try it and find out for yourself if you like it.
You heard the man.
If you are a very casual gamer, this game might be scary at first, but if you can get it for cheaper than it's already cheap, I would definitely say try it out. Like if you have a lull and you're just like, I want to try something new, definitely try Yakuza. You might find yourself in love with the series. I don't think I can really recommend this to anybody who likes Japanese culture because they're probably already playing it.
What? Vega calling it like it is.
Calling it like it is. So with that said, let us know in the comments below what your favorite Yakuza game is, if you've played any of the games in the series, or if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them our way. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Hard Mode Gamers, and keep in touch. But if you like Yakuza Dead Souls, don't talk to me.
Don't talk. But do come back later. See you guys.
I remember, like, complete side story, right? So I remember working at GameStop in, like, 2014, I think it was. And the last NBA game came out for PS2. And I was like, why are they still making games for this system? Or even worse, I remember when Need for Speed Undercover came out.
I played that.
It came out for PS2 and it came out for, like, all the current gens. So, like, PS3, 360, and so on. The PS2 version was complete garbage. Like, I remember playing at my house on PS3, right? And my friend came over and, like, he saw me play. He was like, oh my God, this game looks amazing. And he was like, I'm going to go get it because it's out on PS2. He grabbed it. We went to his house. It was like box trucks. Like, everything was, like, visually it looked terrible. Gameplay-wise, it played awful.
Are you saying that they got the PC version because the PC version looks like ass, too?
Probably. Like, probably. PC still got the superior version though because you could mod it, but PS2's was, oh my God, was that crap.
Out of the box, Need for Speed Undercover did not look good on PC, and it wasn't optimized at all for jack shit. The controls were all wrong if you were using a controller. Yeah, I'm using a controller on a PC. What's up?
Come at me, bro.
Okay, it's funny because a bunch of friends of mine used to play Final Fantasy VIII, actually, and they played it a certain way so they could game the system and then basically cheese their way through the rest of it. So when they're grinding, they have to have one button held down. So what they did is they actually had this ornamental sigh. And they called it the sigh of justice. I called it the sigh of relief because, haha, I love puns.
Hey.
And they just laid the controller down, put the sigh on top of the button, and just let it go. Do you think you could do that? Just like sit back, button.
I don't think the
Just
sequence.
watch it.
I don't think the sequence is long enough for it, but you could definitely do the rubber band trick. You know, like people used to rubber band their R2 button when they
I
were playing Call of
haven't,
Duty.
but
So that was a thing for a little while. People would like rubber band certain buttons on like modded controls so that it would like continue doing stuff and you never have to worry.
the more you know.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was with like sprinting or something. You know, your character like runs out of energy, so you gotta let go of the sprint button. If the rubber band trick with like the modded controls, your character would run out of the energy to sprint, but as soon as it came back, he would start sprinting again. Or so I don't remember what it
Kids
was.
these days don't know about the turbo button.
Yeah, the turbo button. Oh my god.